gonna pick the Magnus because it really didn't work out that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Magnus as well. That we've seen them pop up
That
a few times
you
during the event.
don't want these classic disable heroes against Tide, and if
Hmm.
you do, you're just not gonna have any tools to deal with him. You want stacking damage things like Fury Swipes, Slark, or maybe even
They can't take
something
the
like
stud
this.
game as well.
Sure, fair enough.
And guys, if you have your own opinion on this game, you can click the banner below. New customers do get a free $15 bet. So yeah, if you think that you know how this game is going to go, then you can click that banner below and get yourself that free bet.
So we see a bit of action in the mid lane, lots of heroes. This is one of the nice things about Slark. You have insane night vision.
Yeah, and he's finally going to be hit by the tower moving forward, but no ward. Yeah, there was no ward down here. It was just him walking just a little bit too close, it looks like.
Yeah, there was actually a word from the Dire, but I don't think Shigetsu knows.
There's one on the cliff and there's one...
Oh, yeah, now he knows. Now he knows.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe... Do they have the right positioning for that D-ward? It looks like it might just be... No, this hero's grouping up here from the side of VP on this top rune here in the river, and it looks like Daniel as well as Malik going to be pushed away from this, so it might be... It will be a 2-for-2, as it looks like the bottom runes will still be secured here by Puckchamp.
Bit of action, but nothing too exciting. I am curious to see if they're gonna find the D-Void. Because they haven't placed it yet till the end. Considering putting it on the cliff there, it's also a common spot, but not gonna do it.
Yeah, it looks like it's being pinged out on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
So maybe it gets put in the wrong place. Maybe they were thinking it was on the Dire side, where it's really on the the Radiant side. And yeah, nobody's coming through for the D-Ward just yet, it doesn't look like. So maybe they're just going to put up with it, just know that there is some kind of vision here, as it looks like we're going to be seeing Notice take a lot of damage coming through from Shigetsu. Shigetsu, does he want to go for the chase? He's only level 1, so he doesn't have the pounce, but one more right click, it might be enough. No, the stick! It's still going to go the way of till the end.
No permanent agility though, so that's a moral victory for a VP.
Yeah, true. He outlasted, he chased back, and he made Shigetsu retreat before he could pick up that permanent agility. So yeah, the mind games. I see the mind games working here for the side of VP.
I keep saying this, but Frost Blast level 1 is such an insane spell. It's so easy to underestimate the damage, and the cooldown and slow. I mean, the cooldown's really low and the slow is really high, so it's one of the strongest level 1 spells. And every time I see a Lich, I watch them be involved in a First Blood.
Yeah, and coming in around level 2 or 3 as well with the Sinister Gaze, especially with the Slark, the amount of control that offers in this lane, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see that being one of the high-level kill lanes here. Squad X this time on the Ember Spirit, 57% win rate, 42 games. That's not bad.
I wonder if he can still win with a 42% win rate Terrorblade in his team.
Well, that'll have gone up now a little bit.
Could be like 43 or even 44.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a positive change. It is a positive change here. Sayush going to be
Step
chased down.
on
The
my
pounce
screen.
comes out now again. The techies, one more right click. And we saw Notice getting close to being taken down before he got away from Shigetsu. But that is just, again, high kill lane, this lane. It's going to be the Frost Armor as well, so good control. With the pounce coming out as well, it means that Shigetsu isn't under a lot of threat when he does try and go for those ganks, and it's just getting harder and harder. And I say harder and harder, we're 2.5 minutes into this lane, and already Noticed struggling with the techies just to keep his life at a decent level to keep himself alive.
I do want to say that I expect VP to get some kills in this lane as well, because it's a techies lane. Like, Blast Off is such a strong spell, and just the constant spam of the sticky bomb. It's kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, and Shigetsu, how's he looking? I mean, he's 13 last hits, but like you say, until he hits that level 6, you know, he is maybe under a little bit of threat of the magic damage coming through from the side of VP. Meanwhile, on the top lane, you can see Daniel's going to be taking a lot of damage. He throws out the Fade Bolt here, but Dakalis might try and trade it off. Uses that Starstorm, but there was still a telekinesis just in case Daniel needed to push the panic button and get himself away.
Yeah, and Metamorphosis is down now, so Malak is gonna take almost no damage anymore. With the
Yeah.
2 points in Kraken Shell and the Ring of Health, he's gonna have a good old dandy time in the top lane.
Yeah, and you can see, the extra armor coming through as well. That's not awful there for the Tide. Is the Tide going to be another one of those, does he want to be building the first item, Guardian Greaves, or do you think he goes in for that Blink Dagger?
Well, I think he's definitely getting Guardian Greaves. With the Blink Dagger, you leave yourself a little bit vulnerable, but with the Greaves, you're just never gonna die.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on him to see what he does want to build into, and we've seen, the Greaves are in demand again at the minute. Young G doing a little bit of farming in this mid lane. He's going to be caught down though, locked down by that Searing Chains. Gets the toss back. So he's still going to be able to fill his bottom lane though. They're going to be doing a lot more damage again. Techie Sage, can he get himself away from this? They change targets onto Notice, and Notice again, the Frost Blast flies through here. Axes onto Shigetsu. Shigetsu only level 3. So he's nowhere close to having the ultimate up, no closer to having the Shadow Dance, even just the passive to restore his health underneath his tower. So he does need to be careful of the sticky bombs in this lane.
Yeah, they couldn't kill the Tiny, so the blast off was a real threat. And normally you're totally fine taking long fights against heroes on Stark, but when there is a techies in the trees, you might want to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, and Daniel moving around now again mid lane though. Ooh, Searing Chain Sleight of Fist. Not enough to get the kill onto Young G. Young G, about 50 health, will be able to get himself back, but that forces him right back to base. And it's going to take him out of the lane for a long time. And this early on, when leads are being built and broken here, forcing out the Tiny from that mid lane, that's going to be a massive win from the Ember. Another massive win. Chikalis, he gets to leap forward. He takes down Daniel. He even gives him the tip.
Very nice kill there. Just a bit too slow on the lift.
Yeah, and Shigetsu, the sticky bomb does still connect. It's not. It might only be level 1 though. The damage isn't going to be enough to finish off Slark, but it will be enough to force him back towards the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, having the raindrops is a good call, I think, by Shigetsu. Just makes the damage a bit more predictable.
Yeah, and I mean, the Lich rotating, getting the pulls off as well. The Lich actually might be the next target here as Shigetsu just trying to farm through. He's going to be getting close to that level 5. And what is the build that you expect coming out from Shigetsu? Does he go for that Diffusal Blade, or is it going to be the Echo Saber into the BKB, into that Mage Slayer, do you think?
I quite like the Diffusal here. There's a lot of low HP heroes. I mean, low mana, of course. High HP, low mana.
Yeah. Okay. Top lane. They get the kill onto Daniel again in the river, and that's going to be picked up by Squadix this time. The chase is on though. Young G, do they have enough to take him down? Since the gaze comes out, there is going to be the rotation coming through from the Marana. Avatos, that's going to be enough to get the kill. Young G gets some revenge for his fallen comrade, and now he's going to be able to get some free farm in the mid lane as well. So, maybe even getting some revenge for being forced out the lane a little bit earlier on too.
Yeah, and Malik, he's going for first item Refresher Orb, or what is happening? Why does he have a Void Stone queued up? Could be Lotus, but I prefer my reality.
Would he even have the mana to... You wouldn't have the mana to use it and anything else if you went for a refresher.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't, but I like the idea. He can just buy Arcane Boots.
Just
2
posturing.
Arcane Boots is more than plenty.
Yeah. Saying I don't even need to use my skills against you. Yeah, what is that?
Lotus Orb would be interesting. I think it's a very good item this game. You get rid of the chains, it's good against the roar, good against everything Techies has to offer, and it's kind of funny when you reflect the sun there too.
As a first item though?
Yeah,
okay.
Probably not. Meteor Hammer! We forgot that was an option.
We forgot that was even existed. But
oh damn. He just wants to push towers. Okay.
Okay, fair. Do you then think he goes, if he's going to be pushing towers like this at minute 16, do you think he goes for the shard as well?
I don't think so. I feel like he's still gonna get the Greaves now, but he just wants to put on pressure because he knows he's practically invulnerable. Well,
yeah, we did say in the draft about putting pressure onto Krillia. That is one way to do it. The arrow, a little bit too late there to connect, and Young G just sidesteps it off, and you can see Dakalis, he has to go for those leaps away. The creep will catch up to him, but it looks like the aggression stops her, at least as far as Puckchamp's heroes go. So Shigetsu as well, he is level 6, so he has that regen coming out. It looks like he wants to try and rotate, maybe catch out the techies who was trying to look for stacks. He gets the pounce as well, so he's going to be able to come in now as well with the Frost Shield. And the damage coming through, Sao should go down. Sinister Gaze, one more right-click. The neutral!
That feels bad. He still gets the agility, though. It's fine.
Consolation prize, yeah, so a little bit of a Brucey bonus, but he definitely... he gets the stack as well, which is probably going to be as much gold as taking down that Techies, I suppose.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah. If you guys... they're going to be able to find the Rubik now as well. Danielle with his telekinesis, so they might be able to. They won't be able to get him out of it. The Meteor Hammer is going to be dropped, and so will that Tier 1 tower. Even the Ravage is going to be committed here now as well. Tidehunter with the Anchor Smash. But Duka's able to get that leap away.
I love how Malik just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, you can hit me, sure. Go ahead.
He's going to be fine. Maybe not if there's going to be an arrow. Does it connect? He doesn't. Dukalis 0 for 2 on these arrows so far, so maybe he needs to get himself down to spec savers, or maybe just realign the scope so he does get those arrows connecting. But yeah, guys, if you want to take a bet on this game, you can click the button below. You do get a free $15 bet as a new customer. So that is always an option. As Malik, like I said, going for potentially the Guardian's Greaves. Yeah, because he's going to get the Mana Boots now flying out to him on the Courier, and then potentially enter the Greaves. Do you think at some point he wants to go back towards an Aghanim Scepter? You'll be able to get the AoE Gush against the Terrorblade and all of his illusions?
I think so, yeah. If he doubles down on the Greed, I think that's an item he wants to get pretty early. Because at some point you want to get a Shiva as well for the AoE damage and control and armor, that kind of stuff. But Aghanims just feels really good to farm with. I'm afraid that it might just be a bit too much, going for both the Meteor Hammer and the Aghanims. But hey, I still feel like he's practically unkillable no matter what he builds.
Yeah. Okay, well, he is going to be completing up onto a wand. I'm surprised, yeah, he didn't even come into the lane with a stick. So he is going to be going for that wand on the Courier flying out to him now. And yeah, he's just been, he's already taken that tier 1 tower. He's just uncontested in this top lane.
Yep. There is going to be a point where they can actually kill him if Ember gets a few levels and they rotate the TB with some Metamorphosis hits. But it's just going to be very, very rough. And I do like what VP is doing. They're just ignoring him.
Yeah, and he can just keep going. Like you say, but he's being ignored, but at some point you do have to deal with him before he takes down your tier 2 in the next 3 or 4 minutes with the Meteor Hammer, with these creeps pushing it as well. So who do you think VP try and dedicate to try and stop, or just put the pressure off this Tidehunter?
I think they're really gonna struggle with killing the Slark. We spoke about it before, how Slark is just a very good hero in this game.
Yeah.
But ganking a Tiny also feels kind of weird, but I think that's their best option.
Okay, well, it is going to be the Greaves. You know, he started that. It looks like he's got the headdress coming out for him here now as well. And it's still a decent amount of gold away, but like I say, if he's uncontested in this lane, it shouldn't take him too long to get towards it, especially when he's getting the pull-throughs like this as well, and contesting on to the Terrorblade's farm.
Yeah, and speaking about the Terrorblade, he's being outfarmed pretty hard by the Slark. Of course, it tends to take TB a while to get going, to get those strong illusions, but still, it's not a good sign for VP.
Yeah, and the Terrorblade usually wants to go into the jungle around level 7 or 8, but he was forced in around level 4 or 5. Mid lane, though, they might be able to get a jump onto the Ember Spirit. What can they do with this now as well? A lot of damage to Techies with the blast up. He gets the kill onto the Lich, but there is going to be a Ravage flying through. They do still take down the Rubik as well, so both supports. Sleight of Fist comes out. They take down the Tiny as well, so Malik going to be the only one left alive on this. A really good rotation from VP, and just countered the damage coming through from the side of Puckchamp. Malik, though, should just be able to move himself back. Big tanky boy. And the regen, 14.7 health regen as well. So for now, he's going to be all right. In the mid lane, he gets the tower, the hammer even connects onto the Ember Spirit. So Ember, he's got the Flame Guard coming through.
Can you believe that Blast Off is not an ultimate and Ravage is? Because it felt the other way around in that fight.
Yeah, with them all being grouped up as well in the initial blast zone, because... Is it half damage if you're outside of the center of the blast?
I have no idea about Techie's mechanics. I still instinctively avoid that hero. Even
Fair
though
enough.
he's like an actual Dota hero now.
Yeah, because I think it's something like you have. I'm pulling the number out of thin air, but it's something like chat will tell us. Chat will know in about 5 minutes. They'll be able to catch us up. But I think it's something like a 300 AOE
I'm just
around the initial blast area.
I'm gonna do my job and check it. Um, you just keep going on. I'll find out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As Malik, keeping pressure on this mid lane. He is very close. He's got the mechanism up now as well as the mana boots. So he's only, I mean, the Greaves recipe itself does cost a decent amount, but he's not too far away from completing if he keeps up this pace. As you can see, Young G just going to be able to blink himself up to the high ground. Wants to go into the lane that's uncontested here. If he keeps close to his tier 1, you know, there can be the responders coming through. He wants that Echo Saber as well after the blink dagger. So decent chance to burst down, well, techies. And the Marana too, if he gets a good Avatos catch out there with the Echo Saber in a tree, into the tree toss, the damage should be there. As you can see, the Tide, just using the Meteor Hammer here in the mid lane, just wants to keep that pressure on, maybe potentially take this tier 1 tower.
So I'm checking right now, and I don't see anything about the center or anything. It seems to do the same damage on the edges on the start, but we see TB taking a lot of damage, but does get off the Sunder.
Yeah, and Youngji needs to really run himself away from this one now. Doesn't have any bolt charges, so he's not even going to be able to get that regen. Does get the blink away, though. Any follow-up from this. It looks like Youngji will be able to get himself out, but back in the dire jungle here. Chases on. Double Searing Chains comes through. They get the kill onto till the end, and it looks like they may even be able to take down Rubik. Again, there's not going to be a Ravage thrown out just yet. They do get the kill on both supports once again, but now, what can they get out of this? The Ravage does come through, connects onto the Marana as well as the Ember Spirit, but nobody following up on the Ember Spirit. Even she gets rotating in onto this kill, but it might just be able to put pressure onto the tier 1, take this one down. All 3 cores still here from the side of Puckchamp. Fortification comes out, though. Do they just want to back themselves away? It looks like they do. Oh, the blast comes in, though. They catch out onto the Slurk. Slurk, will he be able to get himself out of this? He doesn't have the Shadow Dance. He's going to go down. They get the kill onto Shigetsu now as well. Young G, though, turns it around, takes the techies off. After the techies gets the blast off into the fight now. Can they take down the Ember Spirit? What was stolen? It's going to be the Sleight of Fist, and they do get the kill onto the Ember.
You can't underestimate this techies. Every time you don't expect him, he jumps in, and now he has the shard as well, so it actually stuns.
Yeah, and it's just every time in this river when the group's up as heroes, you know, he just finds this great blast off. And guys, if you want to find a great deal, you can click on the banner below, get yourself a free $15 bet for the stream. You know, just click on the banner below that stream to get yourself into that. And yeah, okay. So it looks like it was the last time I paid any attention. There was a deals current HP is self damage now on the blast off. But yeah, there was an area of effect, and then like if you were outside of that area, you took half damage. But that must have been, maybe it was a couple of patches ago, and it did get changed. Speaking about blast off, they're gonna be able to get another blast off. She gets it though this time, gets the Shadow Dance off. Does he get himself out of this? So with the Techie bombs as well as the Searing Chains, keeping him in place. Searing Gaze comes out, but it looks like Shigetsu just wants to get himself out of danger here. He's pulled the ripcord and he's ejecting from this fight. Chain Frost through the creeps. It's going to bounce right back. No, it's just going to be bouncing through the creeps, and Shigetsu now he's healed up with that Shadow Dance. He wants to get himself in. Saush will go down. Daniel's going to be one that gets it with the Fade Bolt. Now they get themselves on top of the Ember Spirit, and Ember Spirit stayed around way too long and gets picked off, gets killed off. And Puckchamp get themselves back into the game, finding some good kills here. Shigetsu getting some gold out, taking down the the Ember as well as that Techie. So a good little benefit there from the Shadow Dance. Just be able to get yourself right back into the fight after you regen up.
Yeah, really nice turnaround there. I wasn't expecting them to still go after Slug didn't have Shadow Dance, but Techie's used most that he had, and Puckchamp, they take the good trade.
Well, let's see what they can do in this mid lane now. Malik, he's still right up there. He wants to maybe get a... Oh, they actually go after the Thunderhide.
They're not gonna get it. Those creeps are so tanky.
Yeah. And you can see now Tidehunter, he does have the Guardian's Greaves. Oh, the arrow connects onto the Tiny, no follow-up. There was heroes around just to make sure anyway. But yeah, so the Guardian's Greaves are out for Malik. He's going to go back for the blink into the shard, it looks like. Give Puckchamp a reliable source of damage. I mean, they have the Tiny as well with the tree. So maybe a second source of reliable damage against the towers.
The new Tide Shard is still a bit strange to me. Like the little tentacle.
Yeah.
I never know when to build it when playing Tide. It's nice to have, but it's also quite expensive.
Oh yeah, crap, you're right. I'm thinking that it's still the Anchor Smash that does damage to buildings.
Yeah, that's what confused me as well, but now I only put the pieces together.
Yeah, no, like I'm playing on last patch. Yeah, no, the tentacles. Yeah, yeah. Now I remember. It's a good solo pickup. That means you don't have to commit a ravage. And
Nice.
speaking of, Daniel's gonna be able to get the kill into the Ember.
I really like the coordination with the toss into pounce. There is nothing you can do about that as an Ember.
Speaking of, the pounce comes through from Shigetsu. He does have the Aghanim Scepter, so he has the extra long, and then it's the second charge now as well. Can they get the kill onto Notice? Notice he throws out the roll, but since the gaze comes through, and they're going to be able to get the kill. They pick it up. Youngji does get that one.
I'm not sure if he got permanent agility for that, but I think he did. These are like the important things about these kinds of fights.
Oh, Youngji. He just continues. I mean, you've got the techies in the trees here, but I think he might just TP himself out. I don't know if he wants to commit onto the tiny.
Oh, Slark is having so much fun right now. Just walking around the map, harassing people.
And yeah, I suppose the space is being created here by Tidehunter, because Tidehunter is being able to put with the Meteor Hammer, put pressures onto the lanes, and it's just again like the last game where the Terrorblade wasn't really pressured. This time, you know, Slark. I don't think there's been a purposeful rotation onto to try and get that Slark in the entire game. I can't remember one.
I also can't believe that this Tidehunter Meteor Hammer is actually getting a ton of value.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of regen coming through. I'm not going to try and explain it all. Just the regen's nice. You know, he's not really being contested on his pushes, and yeah, for an early setup here, the Meteor Hammer, they've got what the tier 1 in the mid and the top lane. He was putting pressure onto the tier 2 there, and VP just weren't bothered. Maybe not bothered, but they were just cautious about coming up and contesting Malik there.
And Malik has money for a blink. He does
Ember.
pick it up.
Yeah, and that's going to be the initiation now as well. So Titans are kind of doing a bit of everything in this game so far.
Yeah, there we go, another usage, but
Oh, the
not
blast
this
off
time.
they're going to be able to get it. Do they have the lockdown? Is it going to be able to take Malik down? Malik, he's got that Guardian Sweep coming up in 1 second. He's going to be able to get the heal off. If he wants to go for the Ravage now as well, he's going to be able to throw it out. He does get the Ravage. It connects onto the Terrorblade. And Terrorblade, he's going to be locked down. Do they have enough to get the kill? He does not get the Sunder. He's going to be straight up dead. Notice now, throws out the Roar onto the Tiny. Axes fly through as well. Shigetsu just gets that Dark Pact. He's trying to get it what damage he can. He has that Mage Slayer as well. It's the Diffusal Blade. So maybe he finds a slow. Decalis, the pounce comes out. Was the reveal though? The dust is going to be there. The Force Staff comes through. Decalis, does he get himself away from this one? He's still going to be slowed down. Diffusal Blade keeps him locked down. They get the kill.
It's so hard to get away from a Slark with Aghanim Scepter and Diffusal. They almost got the Tide there though. Surprised by the amount of damage, but I have to give some props to the Puckchamp team because they actually killed the Techies bombs. He would have died if the third one went off.
And yeah, you can see that. I mean, this game at the minute, 13-11, but it just feels like the past couple of fights have gone all the way of Puckchamp. There was some good early ganks, good early rotations from VP. Speaking of now as well, he's just going to fly away to the Remnant.
Ooh,
Did he have anything to lock him down? Was that pounce? Just a second too late.
That was really close. Youngji
Yeah,
almost has Aghanims as well, so that's a great tool to deal with Terrorblade as well. You can kill his illusions with so little commitment.
And you can see that, I mean, even Rubik with the in fact, Youngji, how far away? Yeah, no, he's not too far. About 600 gold or so from completing onto the Aghanims. But yeah, Danielle going for the 8th lens as well, so going to have the extra control reach. And it's just, like I say, Puckchamp just seem to be completely in the driver's seat of this game.
Yeah, and they haven't even bulked into Roche yet.
Oh, they've got the jump on. They take him down. Morana's just going to be straight up gone. And now, Do you think of the jump? I mean, he's going to be able to... Sure, he's got a remnant. He's got a remnant behind the tier 2 tower here, Squadix. So if he gets into danger, he can press that panic button. Get himself away.
Time for another meteor hammer. Young G cleaning up some mines.
Yeah, and Tidehunter, it is going to be the Ags, so... the Scepter, not the Shard. So he's changed his mind on that. It's not coming on the Courier. And, yeah, no, when do you think they try and look for the Roshan? Because it can't be too far away now, surely.
I mean, they just have a really shit Roche lineup. Like, Slark can't Essence Shift of Roche. Tiny has a lot of burst damage, but not that much sustained damage. And
Yeah.
Tide is okay at taking Roche, but both Rubik and Lich also don't contribute. So you need a lot of farm and a lot of time to take Roche. Maybe once they have like a Blood Torrent on Stark, that's when they could attempt it. It's just a bit awkward. Okay.
Well, for now, the Slark is going to go back towards the BKB. He gets the second power staff now as well. There's going to be the 4-staff away. Can he get himself? He can't. Dukas is just straight up dead. Shigetsu picks up a really nice kill there on the Mirana.
It was a bit of an awkward leap, but it happens. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Look at this as well. Tidehunter.
Missing his meteor hammer like a Chad.
He just says he doesn't need to catch them all. He can easily clean them up with an Anchor Smash, you know, just get himself in and around. The creeps is good enough. But, yeah, I mean, look at this. The Tidehunter, he's at top in the Terrorblade in terms of net worth. It's only by a couple hundred gold, but when your offlaner is better than in terms of net worth than the opposing safe laner, you know things are going really well for you as a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the gold lead isn't even that big, but Puckchamp just feels completely in control, just like game 1. They're not leading by a lot of gold, but they are way stronger.
Yeah. And what can VP then, what do they need to do? Is it items? You know, do they need to find a pick-off, go as 5, maybe find a good smoke rotation? What do VP need to do here to get themselves back in this game?
If they can get the jump onto Slark before he gets his BKB, I think they can potentially win a fight. But they need to be really fast, because they don't have a BKB on TB yet, so Ravage is really lethal.
Oh, look at this. Shigetsu's trying to leap to the back lines now as well. Ember Spirit's jumped in. Lich taking a lot of damage. He's not going to be able to get off that Chain Frost, but the Ravage, it comes through the BKB. He's going to be there for notice, but nobody else. And now the Tree Toss as well for the Tiny. The 4-staff, they're trying to get South out of the damage as well, and Malik trying to run himself away from this one. He's taking a lot of damage, and the Tidehunter. So the Tidehunter will be picked off, but they do get the kill onto the Techies. Maybe. Good fight, and Puckchamp, not the fight that they wanted to fight into, it looks like. They lose 3 heroes and only take down the Techies.
Yeah, they went for the Ravage, but it felt like the team wasn't really ready for it. And Lich just got bursted so fast, so no Chain Frost either. I do love the Meteor Hammer follow-up to the Ravage. It's just hilarious.
But look at this. Look at how quickly this Roche has gone. Less than, probably what, took about 10 seconds. Ooh, he's trying to get in there, Shigetsu. But he's just going to be locked down. With the Rubik as well. Can he get himself out? The damage, it might be enough to take him down. Going for that Shadow Dance. He's got the Dark Pack for the Purge. But Slark, yeah, with the extra long leap, it does cost the Rubik his life, though. And he's going to be seen by the Hawk.
Ooh, I'm getting some Game 2 flashbacks where I feel like Puckchamp is doing really well, and then they lose a fight, and now TB has an Aegis. I'm starting to get a bit nervous, Rob.
Yeah, history may be repeating itself here as Puckchamp losing a really bad fight, and like I say, just giving up a free Aegis. It's not what you want, especially again now that that's going to put the Terrorblade right behind the Slark in terms of net worth. You know, he leapfrogs over the Slark just then as well. So, do you think that they needed to wait for the BKB to be out on the Slark before trying to take that fight? Or was it just because the Lich went down, you know, the Tidehunter got caught out in between 3 or 4 heroes? Was it just a really bad fight to take anyway?
Yeah, I think the fight was just a bit awkward. They got the spirit, just the execution is lacking a bit.
Yeah, okay. And, I mean, Tidehunter, he's only about 150 gold away from completing onto the Phalagonum Scepter as well. So that's going to be quite a nice pickup. But, yeah, in the fights, they need to be a little bit more, I guess, cohesive as a team. because, like you say, it felt like the Lich went down first. In fact, they're going to be able to get the leap now as well. But the BKB comes out from the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit's going to try and dive himself away to a Remnant, and the Ember Spirit, he gets those Remnants stolen by the Rubik. Arrow won't connect. Where can they go with this? It looks like Malik, is he looking for the blink? He's got to open 2 seconds. Still have that Ravage available there as well, but it looks like the ball's going to put that blink on cooldown. Can't get himself in now, but the chase in, the pounces. You see the Ember Spirit, the Flame Guard's going to be wearing off, but it's going to be Shigetsu in the middle of 5 heroes. Is he going to lay a little bit too far? Shadow Dance, it might be enough to keep him alive, and now he gets that BKB off. He turns it back around into tech. He's the damage. Is it going to be enough as the remnants fly through from the Rubik now as well as he gets himself out of this fight? But again, maybe a little bit of an overextension. The Chain Frost is bouncing around, but Krillia not taking anything from this. Now gets his TP cancelled now as well. The leap back in by Shigetsu. Do they have the damage? They're going to be able to pop this Aegis, and now another leap onto Dakalis, and Dakalis gets killed off. Shigetsu gets that kill, and the Meteor Hammer was a little bit too early as the Aegis, it keeps Terrorblade going. It lets him move back, but yeah, the Meteor Hammer maybe a second too early onto this. He does TP himself away in the trees. They want to carry on going, though. This is a nice fight for Puckchamp. If they can find anything more, it is going to be a bonus, but it looks like they just want to TP themselves away.
It just shows that if Puckchamp do take the right fight, they can definitely take it. And that was within Aegis as well, and it never really felt like the Slug was in too much danger. Ooh, and this is big!
Oh, but no, yeah, there's going to be the Sunder coming through Krilliat, though. It doesn't matter. Look at the health. It's just going to be burst down 100-0 in a matter of seconds with the Aghanim's Blast, with the, with the Gush coming through.
And look at his Essence Shift stacks. This would have been the time to take Roche.
And now, I mean, Malik's going to be going for a 4-staff, some more utility, which Tidehunter looks like he's building almost absolutely around here. And yeah, like you say, Shigetsu with a 45 temporary, the 12 permanent, going back towards the Skadi. So it's not as cut and dry as it looks. You know, both teams winning fights. Maybe a little bit of an overextension a couple of times here from Puckchamp, but it's proven that VP, you know, they're not completely out of this game. No, the Meteor Hammer onto Notice, though. No, it forces out the BKB.
Every time I see it, it just still makes me laugh. This bloody Meteor Hammer. You have a watermelon just running around and then putting his arm up and cheering, and then things fall out of the sky and buildings die. It's, it's madness.
And now Shigetsu, I mean, 30 minutes in, so there is going to be the sticky bomb. There's a whole pounce away here as well for the Slack, but 30 minutes in, Puckchamp starting to put pressure onto that tier 3 tower in the mid lane. So, how far away? He's still a decent amount away from that Skadi there on the Slack. But once again, he reclaims that top spot on the net worth chart.
Still looking really good for Slark. He's gonna have his Skadi soon. Tide also about to hit level 20, so he could go for plus 40 Kraken Shell damage, which means that Terrorblade is no longer gonna deal any damage to him whatsoever, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and just looking through the map, 86% chance for Puckchamp to take this, so the odds are in their favor in a minute. And yeah, so if you're that Terrorblade and that comes out, do you just completely ignore the Tidehunter in the fights?
Yeah, I think so. The problem is, though, that a lot of the damage that you deal as a TB is base damage, and Anchor Smash reduces that by so much. So you just don't want Tide anywhere close to you, preferably not even in the same game. But alas, here we are.
You are going to get your wish as well. There is going to be a refresher, it looks like, coming out for the Tidehunter after the 4 stuff gets delivered. And, was it 2 minutes or so till Roche? So, no Aegis as well on VP that did get dealt with. Shigetsu just trying to push out this bottom lane. But again, Puckchamp, they look like they're in a comfortable position. They're not rushing these fights. Not having to try and force something out, and it looks like it might be up to VP again, just to try and force out a bad fight from the side of Puckchamp, and then try and capitalize on that sometime soon. But, well, Dakalis doesn't get killed off. Avatos comes through, Young G just firing off warning shots here.
Malik, just pick your talent already. He's been saving it for so long. It's stressing me out.
Still making up his mind. You can't rush him. These things are important.
Okay, I'll be patient. I'll be patient.
But yeah, he is just taking his time. Because it is, as I was wrongly alluding to with a shard, but the 20 talent is the plus building damage on Anchor Smash now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I don't think when you have a Meteor Hammer, you need more building damage. But I could be wrong.
Well, you can never have enough building damage.
It's a fair statement.
Yeah, the Tiny already has that Ag Scepter as well, going towards a Daedalus. So you're going to have the crit on the tree tosses coming out. Yeah, they aren't struggling at all. With Malik, like I say, with the Aghanim Scepter coming out onto the Tidehunter, aren't struggling at all to clean up these creeps. And what's VP's game plan here? What are they thinking? What's going through their heads at the minute?
Ooh, they have a Silver Edge on the Terrorblade. That's definitely gonna help a bit with dealing with this tide problem. I think they just want to see if they can get Roche somehow.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's going to be the leap away. Do they catch you out onto the cast now as well? It looks like Shigetsu, a couple more right clicks, but there was the Moonlight Shadow coming out, and Terrorblade, he's popped that BKB. You can see the damage. Yeah, the break was there onto the Tidehunter, but Tidehunter, he's going to be saved, lifted away by his own Rubik now as well. But Shigetsu, the Sunder comes off. Has he got that Shadow Dance to get himself away from this if he needs it? He is holding onto it with the Raw. Once again, onto Shigetsu, but the Ravage, there was still the BKB from Notice. Can they jump onto this? He might be able to get the kill to Shigetsu, but he does get that Shadow Dance off, so he's going to be able to survive right through this. And now the Tree Toss comes through from the Tiny to get the kill. The buybacks are going to be there from the Lich as well as the techies, and that's still going to be the death of Shigetsu, even with those leaps away. Young G going to be chased down. Daniel's in danger now as well. There's going to be 4 heroes dead with the buyback of the Lich. Can they make it a full 5 here? Maybe even 6 if they catch out the Lich once again.
That was such a nice fight by VP, catching the tide at the start. They had to play in such a strange way because suddenly that tide had to run away, and he was not ready for that.
Yeah, and it just feels like the leap as well from Shigetsu. You can see here the Raw. You know, he was on such low health, and the BKB from Notice. Okay, catches out onto the techies. And what was stolen was actually the blast off from the Rubik stolen. But yeah, you can see that Shigetsu. We didn't see the beginning of that fight as well, but he did leap in. And just with the super long leaps, it just feels like he's leaping out of the reach from the rest of his team. And it just means that Puckchamp, they're having to work just that little bit harder to catch up. And that split second, you know, the 1 or 2 seconds that Shigetsu is away from the rest of his team, it's just causing Puckchamp problems.
Really nice roar as well by the Beast. Noticed really on top of his game there. It's so hard to get a clean single target disable on a Slark, especially with such a long wind-up animation. Yeah. He's doing it, and it won the fight for them.
Well, now, I mean, they bring it back on kills 20 to 20 for VP up against Puckchamp. The net worth only 3k in favor of Puckchamp here as well. Roshan 2 seconds away. The big man is coming back here as well. So Puckchamp, they've timed the smoke. If they can get a good pick off, I mean, whichever way this fight goes, it opens up the team for the opens up the pit for the winning team. And yeah, Puckchamp looks like they want to be one that wants to capitalize, but again, Shigetsu can't get too far forward away from the rest of his team, because that feels like that's been the downfall of Puckchamp in the fights that they've been losing.
There is a gem on the tide now, which means that it's going to be easier for him to avoid the Silver Edge TB, which is quite a big deal. But Moonlight Shadow now coming out from VP. Okay. Let's see what they can do.
Ember Spirit. Throw in the Remnant near the pit as well. So these D-wards coming out from the side of Puckchamp. But VP, the Moonlight Shadow, it has worn off. Do they want to go for a big wraparound play here?
I think they just want to play the waiting game. Sit where they have vision and then try to get a good jump.
Okay, well, they might be able to find out. Malik, actually, the break comes in once again. He was going for that D-ward. Do they have enough to take him down? The Force Staff down to the lower cliffs. He might get him out of danger. The Remnant, it's not going to be able to get the kill, but they do still get it. Krilliat takes down Danielle now as well, so the chase is on. And can they get themselves away here, Puckchamp? It looks like the buyback comes through. In fact, that was Daniel's career, excuse me, as they get the kill onto the Lich. But Young G trying to get himself away, and again, Krilliat for the second game in a row. There is going to be a really nice Ravage stopping in his tracks. They don't get the kill onto the Tiny. They don't complete, and now the Force Staff, can they take down Krilliat? Krilliat, he might try and turn himself around. He does get the Sunder off to keep him alive, and now they can carry on going. It's going to be coming in with renewed just damage, and they get a full 5-man wipe. And the tips, for good measure.
I have no idea why Malik ran up to the high ground like that. They had to know that VP was there. He just gives up his first life like that. Then he has to go for some kind of awkward Ravage. And they just didn't have the damage to burst down Krillat, so he gets the turnaround, and now they lose Roche again, and now TB has an Aegis, and we're back in game 2, Rob.
Yeah, we are, and the Terrorblade is just putting out. You can see the amount of physical damage that this hero. He took Youngji from pretty much full to no health in about 3 or 4 shots. He's just putting out the right clicks like nobody's business. How do you try and deal with that if you're on the side of Puckchamp?
If you want to learn how to deal with the Terrorblade, the first step is banning Naga for some reason.
Yeah, true. And this is just going to put the tier 3s. In fact, they've got no buybacks on the side of Puckchamp, so they're going to be diving forward now as well. That's going to be the Rubik Death. And they might see that there's no buybacks coming out. Do they go for even more? Do they want to go for that tier 3, the racks in the mid lane? It looks like they're moving over for it.
I still can't believe VP is winning this right now. With this unkillable tide and the Stark snowballing, they just took some horrible fights, and against the Beastmaster, you get punished so hard and so fast.
And look at this, they're losing their full base. The Rubik's still down for 20 seconds, they've got the Tidehunter down for the next 4, but that's going to be enough to take down the tier 3. In fact, Krilliat, he might carry on going, he's going to be able to get the Sunder! No, Shigetsu! Just, no. Chain Frost, he's going to be trying to leap himself back in now. The Sunder's down with the tree toss. They've got enough damage to pop the Aegis. Do they have enough damage to take him down once again? Oh, Ember. He's got that Flame Guard. So, yeah, they do. Now. Jumps in. He does get the Ravage off now as well. The Meteor Hammer's going to be the target. The toss up into the air. They get the kill onto the Terrorblade. Dead 90 seconds. But they've lost most of the base for it now as well. Since the gaze comes out, he's going to be noticed and taken down. But the TP away for everybody else, it looks like. But they did lose pretty much everything in the base there, Puckchamp. Okay, they get a little bit back on that win probability. It's going slightly back towards the middle. But that's still VP. What was that? 83% in favor of winning this game. They need to do something now while this Terrorblade's down for the next minute.
Oh, that definitely helps. And TB doesn't have buyback. This could easily be a set of racks for Puckchamp. Maybe even 2. Is there a bounty on the map that VP can pick up for buyback? There is.
Yeah, there is. There's only 70 gold away from it. It is going to be ticking close. But if you're a Puckchamp here, you go into this tier 3, you see there's no buyback. Do you potentially move past the racks onto the tier 4s?
No, I don't think there is time.
Okay.
Ooh, that's an arrow.
Yeah, but he has the
alive
though. 25 seconds, so they should be able to get a lane of racks off this before the Terrorblade is back. Yeah, they're gonna, but again, they've got to be careful because the base is pushing in. Look at that bottom lane. The creep's pushing through onto the tier 4s, so they are going to try and even this up as best as possible. But again, the Terrorblade only 10 seconds away, so Puckchamp don't want to overextend. They are going to back themselves away.
They do get a single set of racks. All is not lost for Puckchamp, but a lot is lost still. So Ghost Scepter for Malik soon. I think that's actually a good choice, even though he has like 96 damage block. The fact that the Silver Edge is on the field does mean that Ghost Scepter is going to be quite nice.
Yeah, and we can see that, again, Puckchamp, they're just being forced back into the base. So what do VP just wait for the next Roche? Again, it is 4 minutes away, or do they potentially just send the Terrorblade illusions to finish off that last Rax here in the base?
I think they're probably just gonna wait for Roche. They're gonna keep sending TB illusions, but I don't expect one to reach the base.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we're back to VP waiting for Roche. An absolute classic.
So, I mean, the damage coming through from the Tiny, he's got that Daedalus, he's got the Aghanim Scepter for the Tree Toss now as well. He's got... I mean, is that going to be enough to secure anything in these fights? We'll have to see, because he is being controlled quite a bit. And, yeah, VP, They are just starting to push again, looking for that last lane of racks here. Danielle's got to be careful about going too far forward just in case he gets caught out.
Also, I have to say this is one of the saddest days of my life because I believe Tide sold his Meteor Hammer.
No, not the Meteor Hammer.
He was doing so well with the Ravage into Hammer. Not today.
Oh, well. Yeah, the pounce comes up, but again, Shigetsu, look at the distance from the rest of his team. He has to be so careful about doing that.
Yeah, playing with fire here. He sold his Mage Slayer as well, gets the MKB. I am surprised we haven't seen a Basher from him yet.
True. But yeah, the Titans did sell off his Meteor Hammer, got the refresher though, with the 4-staff, so... we'll see what he's going to be able to do with the double Ravage, maybe. And he... did he go for... It looks like he went for the building damage on the Anchor Smash.
Did he?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, man. Because he sold his Meteor Hammer, so he needs that building damage. He needs to replace it somehow.
True.
Yeah, you can see the tree toss coming through as well from the Tiny. He cleans up those creeps, no problem at all. They've got the Gush as well on that Aghanim Scepter Gush, so that is going to be an AoE Gush. So the Fade Ball, they don't have issues cleaning up the creeps as they push in.
Yeah, if they get a single good Ravage, VP is just going to explode. I still think they have a major edge in fights. It's just that they're stuck in base now.
They're building up a net worth lead here, though, VP. 10k ahead, coming up to 45 minutes. And again, the game just feels like it only just started 10 minutes ago. With the way both of these teams are playing, keeping them engaged, like the fights that are coming out as well. But for now, it looks like, again, they're just going to play it safe, like you say, waiting for the next Roche, a minute away from that respawning. So... Shigetsu, he wants the Moonshard as well. Extra attack speed, stacking up those the Agi-Steals is quite nice.
He also wants the buyback, I think.
Yeah.
He's still so far away. Just 68% now.
So it's getting better. It's not getting worse, which is the main thing.
I mean, it was 85 for Puckchamp before. Now it was 85 for VP, and we're back to 68 for VP. So it's flip-flopping a bit.
Yeah, and I'm surprised. Oh no, I'm not surprised because Puckchamp are keeping it even. In terms, they're not letting this net worth lead from the side of VP spiral out of control. They are still finding a good amount of farm in the lane. As you see the Ember Spirit going towards his own refresher. Got his Aghanims up as well. So...
Ooh, that's a DD Terrorblade.
Well, this could be big. Are they going to do something with it, though? Roche, potentially 3 seconds away. We'll see what's on the clock here for the big man. But the dive in, they might be able to get themselves on top of the Tiny. The Sticky Bomb doesn't actually catch, and there is going to be the BKB coming out from the Tiny, but still the right click's coming out from the Terrorblade. Still finds that kill. Telekinesis Daniel trying to get himself out of the fight, and the chase is on now from the side of Puckchamp. There is a buyback from that Tiny if they need to use it, but it was a quick rush. And he is going to be back up. He gets the Ravage off. They hit it now as well. Do they have the lockdown with the Chain Frost again? There could be the refresher into the Ravage. They have the second little Ravage coming through from the shard. And now they're going to be able to take down. He is dead. Terrorplane's gone 95 seconds. Even the Tech is dead for 100 seconds. They might even be able to take down Notice. The chase onto the Beastmaster. They're going to be able to clean up. All three heroes do have buyback. But a really good fight for Puckchamp to take the...
Yeah, and Roche is up as well. VP needs to buy back if they want to contest this. Alternatively, they could just let it go and try to defend like that. But no. They want the Roche. They're all gonna buy back. They still... They don't have meta on the TV.
No.
But there are no Ravages.
True. Down for a minute and a half, at least on the first Ravage. But the Witchbane coming out as well. That's going to be quite nice just for the extra Purge. Never mind the mana damage, but the Purge here for Shigetsu after the Dark Pact as well. And... are they in the pit? It looks like VP are in the pit. Yeah, they're just going to take that Aegis. Third Aegis goes around and they say, okay, you forced out a couple of buybacks. Oh, now we have an Aegis. And the only real advantage is, they still have the buyback on the Rubik, the Lich here. Even Slark has his own. So they might, if they can Puckchamp force out another great fight, might have a chance of winning this game. The telekinesis comes out. In fact, they're going to be able to jump onto the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit, Force Staff, is it going to be enough to keep him alive now as well with the Soon Chain Sleight of Fist? He's just getting himself around this fight, and the Roar comes through. They might have the lockdown onto the Slurk. The Slurk trying to be Force Staffed away. Do they have enough with the Pounce as well? It looks like he's going to get himself out of danger again. Has that buyback if he needs it, but he doesn't want to give it up before he needs to.
And these roars have been so on point, catching the Slug every single time without the Dark Pact. But
yeah,
he still survives, and so do Puckchamp's hopes of winning this game.
every time they leave the base, so that bottom lane is just pushing in. There's nothing they can do to slow it down. I mean, they can go and clear it up, but as soon as they clear up that creep wave, you know, it just starts all over again. So, yeah, they have to be really careful about leaving the base.
Meta should be up, but the first Ravage is gonna be up in a few seconds as well.
Okay, and they've got, yeah, it's about 20 seconds on the refresher there as well. So they might be able to get a good setup. Yeah, 21 seconds, a good setup on this fight. What can they do here? Shigetsu, he's so far forward, maybe acting as a little bit of bait. Does have the buyback available to him as well. So in the jungle,
find someone here.
yeah, he's fishing. He was fishing with those leaps inside the jungle here, and do they want to carry on going? Again, they've got to keep an eye on that bottom lane. They can't be losing any tier 4s, but they are going to be able to take this outpost back, and it looks like it's forced VP mainly back to inside their base.
Wow, Slug actually bought out. He's like, I don't need buyback. We just need to make sure that we have one single good fight with the two Ravages. That's a risky strategy. Curious to see if it's gonna pay off.
How far away as well is the Tidehunter? He wants to start the Shivas, so he's got 3k gold, but he's still a fair ways away from being able to complete. But just being able to push out the lane like that with the gush, it's doing him a lot of favors there. And yeah, Shigetsu, now he wants that Basher. Now he's going to be going back Basher Abyssal. And do you think he keeps for buyback at any point, or do you think he just buys out for the Basher into the Abyssal?
I mean, now he has to save for buyback, right? He has everything he needs. I would be surprised if he bought out the Basher, but we'll see. Because I don't think the Basher is that much of an upgrade over a Moonshot.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna have to eat it to free up his spots.
Well, and I mean, yeah, Terrorblade, okay, a minute and a bit left on the Aegis. The win probability swings back in favor of Puckchamp, only slightly, but it is now back in favor of Puckchamp, even with the Aegis being on the side of VP.
They have a level 25 Tidehunter now as well, with the Ravage stun.
Okay, but they need to be careful here, Puckchamp. They're getting split up a little bit. They're tiny on the bottom lane, trying to push this out. So what can they do?
TV still doesn't have buyback for 4 minutes, so if they manage to take a fight now and kill him, they can actually go throne. I wonder if they've kept track of the buybacks.
Yeah, and maybe they don't want to risk it for now, because again, they keep coming out of the base. So it looks like they're just staying grouped up together.
I'm surprised this range Rax hasn't taken a single point of damage ever since that disastrous push.
Yeah, true. And what
He's buying
levels?
an Eon disc.
Really?
He just doesn't want to get bursted. Who can blame him?
What does he replace? Does he just not put the Hurricane Pike back? No, he's gonna swap out the. No, he doesn't swap out the BKB, right?
Apparently. I think that he wants to have both
Yeah.
in his inventory. But with Aegis, it's probably better to have Eon disc there.
Okay. Well, what levels? I want to see what level the Lich is as well, because the Lich with the heal on the Frost Armor on buildings, right? At level 25.
I think that's still quite far away.
Oh, is he not? Okay, I thought he might be, you know, around level 22, level 23. But no, okay, level 17. Yeah, okay. That's a ways away just yet.
He needs to get the Frost Shield duration at 20 first. Well, baby steps.
Yeah, but he is on the right path. And both teams just slowing it down. We are in for another, looks like hour-long game here. VP. Again, the Aegis is going to be consumed. It's going to be returned to Roche, waiting for the big man to come back up. And at least this time, Puckchamp don't feel as locked into their own base. Do they? You know, they feel like they're getting out, they're finding the farm. They're not in like this chokehold, having to turtle up behind like the tier 3s and the tier 4s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in a much better position than last game. I think they have one of the most insane late game lineups as well. With the Slug, with the Tide Hunter, even Tiny these days is really strong late game because of his Aghanims.
How far, in terms of buyback? So, Slark's still about 1200 off buyback, but about 600-ish off having the Basher.
He's not gonna do it.
Do you
He
not
won't.
think? No? Do you not think? No, okay.
I'm gonna lose so much credibility if he does go for the Basher, but I would be dumbfounded.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's only 8,000 people watching. It's not like, you know, we keep it between me, you, and the viewers. They're not going to spread it around.
Yeah, no one will remember, I'm sure.
Here, fishy, fishy.
So, yeah, it's... I mean, it's close. I think he'll buy out. I think he'll... I mean, what, you get rid of the boots, maybe? Because you've got the extra long pounce.
I mean, he is a carry player. Greed is good. But if he wanted the Basher, he would have sold his boots already,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, if he really wanted to complete, yeah. He just gets rid of the boots now, I guess.
Although, I don't think he has money for the Basher if he sells his boots now. He's just a little bit short.
And, well, let's keep an eye. Yeah, Ninja Gear as well.
That's nice for the Tide, I think. Just to be sneaky with those Ravages.
Yeah, and the extra attack speed isn't too bad as well.
Havoc Hammer. I still haven't found a single hero who likes that item over something else.
Who did it? I was like Mars used to play with it when it was first released. You know, I used to see when it came up, Mars's and Bloodseekers would use it. But yeah, the fact that it knocks the hero away from you, and it's like, well, you want to be in range to right-click them.
Yeah, it's so awkward.
Yeah.
Should be like a tier 2 item, but a bit weaker. Or tier 3 at most.
Young G as well. He's got that overwhelming Blink Dagger, so that's going to be another tool in his arsenal, just to throw a little bit of control and offer that burst damage in.
He has Basher money right now.
Yeah, okay, he's going to save it by... He's only about 300 gold. Oh, did he find the Ember? No, the Ember's going to be able to get himself away with the Remnant. Yeah, being 300 gold away from buyback, it looks like, yeah, that's going to be the save. Doesn't want to buy out because he knows, yeah, if he gets taken down, then it's potentially game over here for Puckchamp.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that. The question is, are they just gonna wait for Roche again? Because every single Roche feels like a deciding Roche, and it doesn't decide anything.
But that's the thing as well with this Roche. It's gonna be Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shards, Aghanim's Blessing. It's all there on the big man. And he's only potentially, again, 5 minutes away from coming back. So this could be... There's going to be the smoke rotation coming around from VP. What's it going to be now as well? Do they find out? They might actually find Decalis. Decalis doesn't take the damage. The Roar comes through. Did they have the damage to take down Tiny? Tiny has to buy back now as well with the Rubik. It's going to be a little bit of a longer one on the Roshan. Just under a minute here she gets to trying to get that dive in. But yeah, it's going to force out at least one buyback on the side of Puckchamp. And maybe potentially have enough time because it's still going to be, what's that, 40 seconds on the Roche, 110 seconds on the Tiny. So what, 70-second gap on the Roche respawn?
Yeah, Young G got really excited there about the prospect of killing a support Mirana.
Yeah, and the Force Staff, the leap away was just enough to keep it out of range of the Tree Volley now as well. Squad X, Chain Frost, it doesn't bounce to anything now as well. They get the kill onto the Lich, and Lich has no buyback. There's going to be the Index proc now onto Notice, and Notice just runs himself away.
That's a single Ravage used. Tide hasn't used a refresher yet, but this basically means that Roche is not gonna get contested.
Yeah, and look at this base again. Because they were out of the base so long, they lose a tier 4 tower, they lose one of the buildings in front of the towers as well. And Youngji has to come back on his buyback to clean this one up. And this should just open up the pit. Roshan is back there, and you can see on the minimap, VP just moving themselves in. They're going to get another free one, it looks like.
That's so awkward. They bought back on the Tiny, but they can still not contend.
Yeah, and it's all of them. Like say, everything there on Roshan. And who would you give the blessing to?
Techies, apparently.
Okay, Techies. And what does the blessing do?
Ooh, another Techies trivia question. Reactive Taser can be cast on allies and deals damage on detonation. Also deals damage to any enemy that attacks the affected ally.
Okie dokie then. So you put that on the maybe the Ember Spirit as it dives in, maybe the Beastmaster when he dives in.
Yep. Ooh, that's permanent damage. Well, until Lich gets 25.
Yep, and I mean he is back alive now, but yeah, like you say, this build and this is the last thing standing, so they want to keep it as undamaged as possible.
So what I think is happening is VP is waiting for the next Roche, and then they'll go.
Yeah, it's got to be lucky Roche number 5 here. Okay, they get the lockdown onto Slark and maybe trying to force out a leap, trying to force out, or the Dark Pack does come out. Tree Toss, but the Ember Spirit was away from it. It was in Remnant form anyway, so it doesn't actually dive into the... So, what can they do? There is going to be the Metamorphosis coming out from the... In fact, that might have just been the Demon Seal. Does he get the Force Staff away? It looks like they're going to try and get him out of danger, but the Ember Spirit, does he want to dive in on this? He does. He wants to get in. Slight Fist, Searing Chains come through. They even get the lift. Well, it's going to be the Rubik Lift to get the Tide Hunter away. But what else can they do here? Tree Toss doesn't connect to anything, and the illusion damage coming through. There is going to be a fortification, but it looks like the Tide... He's going to try and jump in. He gets the Ravage off. Do they have enough to take him down? There's going to be the refresher, but that's only going to be the Aegis. What can they do now? The BKBs are going to be up for everybody. So, now, what they do get that single Ravage with the tentacles, and they get the kill. They take down the Terrorblade, and now the Syrian Gaze, they've got the drive back onto Notice, but Notice again has the Eon Disc. So are they going to be able to get themselves through? There's going to be the Gush flying through onto the Beastmaster. Beastmaster trying to run himself away. Young G with a blink forward now as well. Decalis, does he have any leaves? It looks like he doesn't, and now this could be an Eon Disc being procced here from Decalis. Decalis, can he get himself away from this fight? He absolutely cannot. He's going to be down 98 seconds. He has been dealt with here, but again, the Terrorblade this time has buyback. What can Puckchamp do with that quote-unquote victory in the fight?
Yeah, they only got 2 heroes and they lost mega creeps for it. So I don't think it's worth it. Speaking about things that may or may not be worth it, guess who bought out before having buyback?
Tell me.
It's Shigetsu.
Oh no.
He bought the Basher. I
What
mean,
did he
he's gonna
sell?
have buyback soon, but still. That was a risk to take there.
What did he get rid of though?
He ate the Moonshot.
Ah, right, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And he's going for a Rapier again. It's
Because
that
of
time.
course he is. Yeah, Malik gonna tank all these bombs,
Ooh, that's
and
a lot of damage still.
he's got the regen forces, the buyback coming through from Decalis. Do they just... No, they're gonna want another set of racks, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
for
gonna try and
sure.
go for the tier 3s.
But it's so awkward since the tier 2 is still up for VP on the bottom lane.
Yeah, and they,
They're
again...
gonna get these racks for free because TV doesn't want to buy back for this, but still. Ooh, the stolen bombs are very nice for Rubik though. It's one of the best spells you can steal.
Doing a lot of... Yeah, a lot to help Shigetsu just amplify the damage coming out. But... Where else do they... Pirate Hat for the Ember, so again, I think that's a Terrorblade item.
I think so,
I
yeah.
even forgot we were up to 60 minutes again.
Ooh, the Stygian Deso. Wait, someone died?
Yeah, the Sayush just using the the sticky bombs and the remote mines blew up Danielle, and he couldn't get himself away from that. Even with the telekinesis, it was just too late.
It's no Rubik for 100 seconds. No Ravages up either. If VP were risk takers, they could try to go for a fight now. But there is already a single Ravage, and they're just gonna wait for Roche. I'm just lying to myself.
Slark actually went back as well. It looks like he wants that Abyssal Blade again. He's already bought the recipe, sending his courier to the side shop to finish off the Vanguard to complete into that. And with he actually got the reflective mirror. He was holding the Stygian Desolator for a little bit, but he's gone back. He swapped it off, so he's got that reflection coming through on the mirror. And was it the Tiny? I think it was the Tiny that has the Desolator.
Oh, that's so nice. Getting those huge trees. But Slark once again doesn't have buyback.
Yeah, 800 gold just under away now as he cleans up a couple of creeps. It is only going to be, what, 2 or 3 creep waves for him to get it back, so that's not the end of the world.
Because even Mega Creeps start giving a good amount of gold after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the 400, he's already brought it down to half of what it was about 20 seconds ago. The Fallen Sky comes out for the side of VP. Who do you give that to?
I guess the Ember. I mean, he is the one who jumps the backline, and I feel like if you get a Fallen Sky on someone like the Lich or the Rubik, you can just blow them up, pop BKB, and get out.
True. And, well, let's see. Tidehunter. He's even got a sheep stick now as well.
He had that in the last fight as well. They just have so many disables for this TV.
And yeah, again, it still doesn't feel as hopeless. It's 60, like, the game was over for Puckchamp about 10 minutes ago in that last game. But in this game, it still feels like they're putting up a great fight. They have amazing wave clear, pushing into the base. You know, they've taken a good couple of fights as well. So even though it's looking grim on paper here, 14k net worth lead for VP, about 5 kills behind, it's not, you know, it's nowhere near over in this game.
Yeah.
Wingblade, we could be going all night. How does that make you feel?
I hate food. I don't even want it. No, it's fine. This is good Dota. And Slark is actually going on some kind of expedition to the bottom lane. Is he gonna try to backdoor the tier 2? No way he has enough damage, right?
No. No,
He's just farming a hard camp. That's the carry player I know.
Yeah, maybe looking for maybe more tier 5s. I don't know if Puckchamp have all of their tier 5s.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe they do.
Actually, I have no idea. I'm just assuming they do because it's been 5 minutes.
And
oh no,
Giant's Ring.
It's been 5 minutes. 5 minutes stuck in base.
Yeah, they got a couple. I mean, he's not far off the Rapier gold as well, so maybe that's what he's waiting. You know, he's just trying to play it safe, thinking of somewhere where VP aren't going to be, so he can find as free a farm as possible to complete onto that Rapier.
I mean, if he has a Rapier, he can backdoor the top. Oh, Ember.
Oh,
he sees
yeah.
him now. It's a bit spooky.
So 3-8. So what is he? He's about what, 1,000 gold off completing, maybe.
I'm not sure if he should complete it though. I feel like it's still gonna be better to have buyback because I don't think he has damage issues.
Okay.
He does get the pirate hat though. He's like, gotta go fast. I don't need the reflection.
I like this as well from Tidehunter. He's keeping that Giant's Ring in his backpack. So he has the smoke out if he needs to, like this, you know, to get out, do a little bit of wave clearing. And then when the fight fully breaks out, he can swap into that Giant's Ring.
Mm-hmm. And Giant's Ring is actually not an insignificant amount of damage against the TB. If you can stand on top of him for 7 seconds, that's a lot of magic damage.
Yeah. So... oh, Slark loses his courier. But yeah, again, both teams just playing it safe. They don't want to overcommit, lose a fight here. Everybody apart from the Lich and the Mirana has buybacks, and it's not down to gold, it's just down to timing. So potentially here, when the Lich buybacks back up, it might be a go signal for Puckchamp, but they don't have a lot of vision around the map. So they have to be, if they're going to smoke out, look for a fight, and they need to be effective in the fight as well, because again, this bottom lane pushing in, they've already lost one tier 4 tower, they can't afford to lose another one.
I'm just wondering when Puckchamp is gonna go for some expedition with 2 or 3 heroes to kill that tier 2 bottom. Because it's such a thorn in their side.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, you would have to try and backdoor it because it takes so long to force out that lane that you are going to be liable to be, open to being picked off.
You have a Tiny with a Stygian Desolator though. You would think that it's a possibility.
True, true. And maybe he's on his way. No, he's backing himself up. Okay, so it's just Slark finding the farm, just trying to find what he can in the jungle. And again, the gold is there now if he wants to just straight out maybe sell his boots, TP back to base.
Is he gonna do it?
Callus is close though.
He
He gets a rapier. He hits him with the arrow. Do they have enough damage to take him down? No, he's going to go for the BKB TP out. He pops everything there. He popped. He did. He pops everything. He got the depth charge off there as well.
Yep. Ulti and depth charge as well. It's like everything, just to be safe.
Just fire everything. Yeah. Never mind one panic button. You just hit. You just slam your entire keyboard.
I think they're still missing a single neutral item, and that's why he went there. I'm not completely sure.
Maybe. Pirate's Heart, Stygian Desolator, Reflective Mirror, Giant's Ring.
And then
Maybe.
one more. But
No,
yeah, as we said, VP
Oh.
is waiting for the next Roche.
Yeah, was that? That's a tiny rapier here now as well.
Ooh. They do like the rapiers.
Yeah, and let's see if they're going to be more effective in this game than they were in the last game. So there is going to be the smoke out. Roshan is back up. Timing probably perfect for the smoke gank if they can find it. Terrorblade, he's in the pit. You want to go. The damage you put in now, if Puckchamp are going to go, they need to go now. Look at this damage. Roshan is falling. The scan comes out from the side of the Radiant. So they're gonna know no one's up here. But again, everybody apart from the Slark has buyback. Slark about 1,700 gold away, but it's still going to be a free Aegis going the way. And yeah, Puckchamp just didn't venture out far enough to try and contest on this Roche.
Also, this tide is huge.
He is pretty massive. He's been on the old weight gain 4,000.
He's gonna switch back the Giant's Ring. Look at him. He's chunky.
He's a big boy. And what can they do with this, though?
Well, maybe Daniel can go back to the tower now with the bombs.
True, true. And... Or... Oh, never mind, because it's a talent. I was going to say that, the techies probably has the... It doesn't matter. So, what can they do? The Hawk is going to be coming on the left side of the base there as well. Daniel trying to do his best to help clear off the base. The Fade Bolt's flying through, like you say, the bombs. Anytime he has those up, they're just immediately being dropped to help clear off the wave. And it is going to be, a big push in now from VP if they can find this, because it's mega creeps. So, what can they do with this? There's just extra pressure pushing in from the side of VP. Is this going to be enough to clean up on the game? Because, again, Puckchamp have some great heroes at cleaning up on the creeps. So the anti-push is the Rapiers are on the deck as well. On at least 2 heroes, so what can Puckchamp do?
They can just keep sitting in base and wait for VP to come to them. I feel like neither team wants to make mistakes, but VP is gonna feel inclined to do something because they have the Aegis and Cheese. Little did they know that they need to wait 2 more Roches.
You need to be getting double figures on Roche. It needs to be at least the 10th Roche before you even consider going high ground.
I mean, if you go to the 10th Roche in a professional game, there is some fail-safe mechanism. Oh, let's shut up for a moment.
What are they going to be able to do? Yeah, they get the Roar coming through now. The Force Staff is back onto the Rubik, though. Can they get themselves away? It looks like Lich. He's taking a lot of damage. Backlines as well. Shigetsu trying to do what he can. They get the kill. He's dead. He's not. No buyback. 99 seconds. He's gone. Rapier on the deck now as well. So the Terrorblade going to be able to get himself onto the Rapier if he wants it. And again, he's 200 gold. 83 gold of being able to get this buyback back. But is it going to be in time? Is there any... Can he swap off the Pirate's Hat to anybody?
Yeah, they gave it to the Rubik. He's digging up bounty runes, so it should be fine. I
55
thought you
goal
were
away.
worried about the game ending anytime soon, but nah, don't worry.
No,
about
no, no,
that.
no, no, no. At least another 20 minutes, yeah. They get the dive in now as well. The Ravage comes out, but the BKB was already there from the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster gets that roar off. What damage can he do? They're going to absolutely blowing up the Tiny. The Tiny has that buyback. Can he get that blink and maybe secure the Rapier? He absolutely can't. And now it's just going to be 2 buybacks. Even 1 buyback down and 1 hero being dead on the side of Puckchamp. What can they do? Tidehunter trying his best to disrupt this, but the damage coming through, even the fortification, it's not going to be enough to keep this game going. It's going to be another Ravage, and can they capitalize on this now as well? The single Ravage, the 4-staff comes forward as well. It's going to be the buyback coming through from the Slurk. He got the gold in the end. He get the kill, but it's only going to be the Aegis here onto the Terrorblade, and the Terrorblade, the Roar comes through, but there was a dark pack coming through there from the Shigetsu. So Shigetsu, he wants to chase. He gets that leap forward now as well with the Lotus Orb. Can he carry on going? They're going to be able to get the kill onto the Chaos. Does he want to carry on going even further onto this? As the Emissary is diving into 3 heroes with a Searing Chain, Sleight of Fist. He's just picking buybacks up left, right, and center. But again, the Tidehunter doing so much damage to Giant String. Just the Anchor Smashes, the Gushes, Telekinesis comes out. Can they take down this Ember Spirit? It looks like they've got another dive. Can they take down the Slurk? The Slurk's already buyback. That's going to be a dieback. And now they should be able to come into the base. All 5 heroes coming through. But do they get the blow up? They take down 2 supports here on the side of Puckchamp. What else can they get? The buybacks. I mean, Techies, he's bought back. This Ancient, it's on half health. And Puckchamp, for dear life, by their fingertips, they're holding on to this game. The Rubik goes down. It's only 2 cores surviving on the side of Puckchamp. Can they survive against 4 heroes, or is this going to be it now, as the boar even going to be doing a lot of damage? The blink forward now as well from the Tidehunter. He gets the Gush off, but there's going to be the Ian that's coming through here. The Roar from the Beastmaster. Can they lock down onto the Tiny? Tiny trying to do what he can with the Tree Toss. It's a lot of damage onto the Beastmaster, but it's not going to be enough. You can see the 2 heroes locking him down. He's going to go down after the toss, and the Ancient pops, taking it right to the very end. 73 minutes here, but VP, they secure game number 3.